Hello and welcome to Military Adventures, and this week I'm trying to look something a little bit different. Update from the operations room. So this is a relatively new series talking about my hobby and what I've been doing and what I plan to do. It's an idea I've been toying with for a while now, and a recent video from Alex of Storm of Steel and a subsequent face-to-face conversation with him when I met him at Joy 6 has convinced me it's worth doing myself. In essence, we both agreed that people just like knowing what we're up to. There seems to be a genuine interest in the projects we're working on, what we planned, what we're working on, how we're keeping up to date with those projects, and all those little aspects of that hobby experience that aren't normally worthy of a video in their own right, but may be of interest to people nonetheless. So only time will tell if this new semi-regular series will be popular. I hope it is. But I wanted to start by explaining the format, how I'm going to do it. So first and foremost, this is going to be a largely unscripted video, more of a fireside chat than a monologue. However, I have devised a general format to give it a little bit more structure, which will look at the previous month and forward to what is coming in 4 broad categories. So I'm going to be looking at general hobby activities, the channel, blog updates, a little bit of information about what's going on with them, a workbench reports of what I'm painting on or what I'm working on, what I've bought and so on, and a book or magazine recommendation at the end of the article. So having introduced the series, here is the first update from the operations room. So let's kick off with my hobby update. The last month has pretty much been typified by me trying to recover from Broadside. It took me ages to just tidy everything away, reorganise stuff. I mean, bear in mind that most of the stuff that I'd painted and prepared for Broadside had gone immediately into the boxes I was going to use to transport them, and I hadn't even given any thought of where they would go afterwards. So I basically have been sorting out, having a tidy up, rearranging some of my figure storage in my room in here, just so that I could put away me French Foreign Legion stuff ready for use in future months and so on. I've done that. It's just a little bit of a tidy up, reorganise my drawers, relabel stuff because I have to label everything. So it's taken a while, but everything's got a place now, and everything is good with me. Now that everything's back in its place, I do like to be organised. So it's taken a while, but it does mean that I know where everything is. I can find everything, and more to the point, I've actually made some extra space for other projects down the line. And of course, the other follow-on from doing all of that is I did my first French Foreign Legion battle report. So I did a game here in the room, which seemed to be fairly popular. A lot of people seem to enjoy that. I will be doing some more French Foreign Legion games in the coming months. It's just a matter of time. There's a lot of things coming up for me, not least some DIY in the house that has been long overdue. So finding time to fit in a game and some filming, I will make the time, but it's going to be a little bit tricky. And then of course I was gearing up towards going to Sheffield and the Joy 6 show, which hopefully you've seen the show report video that I put out earlier in the week. I was really looking forward to that. So I did a lot of preparation beforehand. I sort of found out what games were going to be on, managed to get worm me way into a game before I went to the show, so I had something set up to go and play, and I had a look at some of the traders and so on. I had a look at what I wanted to buy. In the end, I didn't actually buy a hell of a lot. I bought one box of miniatures from Rapier, just to give them a try. These are Alexandrian Greeks, because I do need to do my Greeks for facing off against the Indian army, the ancient Indian army that I painted ages ago. Just thought I'd give them a try, see what they're like, just have a look at them, because I've not bought Rapier stuff before. I've had the stuff out of here. They do look quite nice, and I will eventually do a little bit of a review of them when I get time to have a look at them properly. And then on my way back from Sheffield, I visited the Bosworth Heritage Centre, somewhere that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And yes, I know it's not in the right place, but actually I was quite impressed with how the museum there had gone to great lengths to point out the new archaeology and the new evidence, and a lot has been gathered, with the discovery of Richard III's body, and obviously the forensic investigation of his skeleton, along with all of the archaeological work that's been done in the surrounding area. You know, lots and lots of finds. I've actually moved the battlefield, I think it's about 1.5 kilometres away from the historical battlefield, Ambion Hill. But it was very interesting because they were very open about all of that discussion and the various theories and how the evidence has sort of led them, and they've been led by the evidence, which is brilliant, really interesting. I actually found that quite fascinating, and also it's good to see that sort of archaeological journey of discovery represented in a museum, because often you'll go to a museum and it's got, these are the artifacts, these are the facts. In here they had, these are the artifacts, this is the story, and this is how the story's changed over time as we found out more. It's shown the scientific process of always asking more questions and seeking new answers and going where that evidence leads them rather than where they want to go. So, you know, I'm sure the people who run the Heritage Centre would much rather have the battlefield been at Ambion Hill because it's all set up there, but unfortunately it isn't there, and they're quite open about it. So I thought that was very interesting, and very interesting for laymen who perhaps don't quite understand the scientific process and recognise, you know, people seem to think that history is set, it's done, it's doesn't change, but this was a really good example of showing how history can change as our understanding, our interpretation, as the evidence, new evidence comes to light, new ways of looking for evidence that may lead us down other routes. So that was very interesting. I actually found that probably one of the best little museums I've been to for a while. And they had some volunteers there who were very well informed and took time to walk around with me and talk. You know, brilliant. Actually, I highly recommend visiting it there. I did do the battlefield walk, although of course it's not the battlefield. Very nice bit of countryside, lovely and quiet, birds singing in the trees, cows mooing in the distance, my knees creaking as I walked, so it's well worth the effort to visit. And then looking ahead, in the coming month, I haven't got any more shows or even living history events coming up, but I am going to a big fancy dinner with a load of D-Day veterans. That's in the middle of July. Looking forward to that. You know, there's only a handful left, unfortunately. You know, and they're all 100 plus now, most of them. So that's going to be really interesting. You know, I've known these guys, some of these guys, for many years, so it'd be nice to have a big slap-up meal. And I think all the money raised from that is going to the Spirit of Normandy Trust that helps veterans get out to places like Normandy for special events and so on. And then I've got obviously more games are planned, more videos I'm going to try and fit in. I'm going to try and do at least one battle report a month. I can do more, I will try and do more, but I've got to try and be a bit disciplined about making sure I try and fit in some games and do some recording. You know, the battle reports are popular. I enjoy doing them, but they do take a lot of time to do. You know, and I do have a job and other commitments, so trying to fit them in is sometimes difficult, but I think it's just a matter of me being disciplined and organised. So I'm going to try and make a concerted effort. I mean, the first half of the year I was either taken up with a painting challenge, doing lots and lots of painting, or I was preparing for the show at Broadside, and I haven't got those excuses anymore. So really now I've got no excuse but to knuckle down and get some games done and do some filming and do some battle reports for the channel. Now, as already mentioned, there's probably not going to be many living history events or shows in my immediate future. In fact, I'm thinking about it, possibly my next show might actually be Sale Week in October. So I look forward to that. You know, it's my opportunity to buy a few bits for the next Analog Copies Painting Challenge, which of course will start towards the end of December. So a very quick channel update. Currently, YouTube subscribers, it's about the 13,000. 1,380, not 13,000. I should be so lucky. And climbing, which is great. It did for a while level off rather unusually. No particular reason why that I could understand. Perhaps I need to delve deeper into the YouTube analytics to see what was going on. You know, I was putting out videos and they seemed to be responded as well as normal, but didn't pick up many subscribers. You know, I'm sure there's an upper limit to how many people can possibly like my stuff, but hopefully that's a long way off. But yeah, now I'm going to have to sort of have a little delve into that, try and figure out what I'm doing, what I can improve on, and then, you know, do more of the stuff that's really popular. And likewise, the blog has been static for years, under 500 followers. It's stayed that way for a long time, but still consistent number of visitors and page views. You know, over the course of its life, 3.5 million page views. So I'm not likely to stop doing the blog anytime soon. Indeed, there's an interesting symbiosis going on between the blog and the YouTube channel, because lots of people come to the YouTube channel on my videos via the posts that I put on my blog. Presumably because the blog's been around a while, so it gets better, goes better in Google Analytics and or the search engines and so on, I suppose. I don't really know. So you know, I won't be abandoning the blog anytime soon, even if most of my effort is going into the YouTube channel. So yeah, I'm going to keep on going with that, but I'm going to be trying to spend a bit of time this month delving into the analytics for both to see if there's anything that I can do slightly differently. The best videos of the month so far, of the previous month, Joy 6 video, obviously that's been very popular, and my To the Last Bullet French Foreign Legion Battle Report obviously went down quite well, so okay, I know I'm going to be doing more of those if I can. So yeah, so I just need to do a lot more, pay more attention to the YouTube analytics and see if there's anything else that I can do to produce the right sort of content. And if there's anything you want, please, you know, drop a line in the comments below. You know, I'm still after ideas for me Sunday monologues, so you know, if you've got a question you want me to answer, or if you've got ideas for videos, or just tell me what types of videos you prefer, and I'll try and make something along those lines. So the workbench report. I'm working on more Berbers, as hopefully you can see. I won't bother pointing them at the camera. Basically some more infantry for my Berber forces, because I did make, for the game that I ran at Broadside, I did it heavily cavalry and camelry orientated, so I need a bit more infantry. So they're taking ages to do. The mojo isn't there. So I'm telling you that by the time I do another video, these will be finished, because I need that sort of self-imposed peer pressure to make me pick my paintbrush up and get on with it. And you know, if this was in the middle of the painting challenge, I'd have done like that. But you know, that's why I like the painting challenge, that it does spur me on to get stuff painted. But I want to get these done because I've also bought some tirailleurs for the French Foreign Legion, for the French side. I did buy some from Irregular, but they were a bit big. They were more 18mm than 15mm, and they looked quite bulky when you put them next to the other models. Now, I was unsure whether I should do them anyway, but my friend Ray of the Rejects, as everyone will know him, he suggested Lancashire Games. I had a look on there. I bought some of their tirailleurs, Franco-Prussian War era, but I'm hoping that there's not too much of a difference in the uniform. By the time I painted them up, I'm hoping they won't really notice. It's as close as I could get, basically. And they're a better analogue for the size. You know, they fit with the Blue Moon figures that I've painted so far a lot better. There is a slight size difference, but it's minimal. You won't notice it on the games table. So I'm going to have a look at those in more detail, because I only received them the other day and I haven't really had a chance to look at them. I ain't even had a chance to really take them out of the packet. I did notice that there's quite a bit of flash and moulding to be cut off the bases and things like that. So they're going to take a little bit of preparation work, but I'm going to be disciplined. I'm not going to touch them until I finish these Berbers, but I am looking forward to getting on and painting perhaps a couple of units of tirailleurs, just to add some extra options when I'm playing the French in my the Men Who Would Be Kings games. And last but not least, I have a book review, and for the first book review, I'm not reviewing a book. Typical of me to break the my own preset rules at the very first, straight out the gate. I'm actually going to be recommending a magazine. So Ancient Warfare magazine. I've been a subscriber for a while, And when I subscribed, I also paid for some back issues. So this is the August-September 2009 issue. It's a volume 3, issue 4, and it's all about the Barkids at war. So right up my street. So it's all about the Punic Wars and Carthage, and there's a series of linked and very interesting articles in there. Actually found it's been fascinating. I've not quite finished it, but it's a great one. I do enjoy a magazine. When I get to some of the magazines, I will read them cover to cover. I don't subscribe to them all now because I wasn't going through them. But this, I'm glad I subscribed to this. So definitely a recommendation, this particular one. If you're interested in the Punic Wars, very good issue. Tons of information in there, and as always, beautifully illustrated. You know, really an inspirational read, covering a wide range of things. So there's, you know, how during the Second Punic War, Hasdrubal crossed the Alps. You know, that's quite interesting. Article about Carthaginian siegecraft. What else we got? And then there's a couple of other non-related articles, but very, very interesting nonetheless. I would definitely, an article about forging the gladius, for instance. So the other articles as well. But overall, the theme for this article, this particular magazine, is the Barkids at war. So that's my book recommendation. My first book recommendation is actually a magazine, but well worth buying. If you can get a back issue of that, I would highly recommend it. Very, very good. I'm really enjoying reading it. So I'm about 2/3 of the way through. I'm going to be taking this out with me at the weekend, take it down the beach and sit on the beach and look like a nerd, and finish the magazine. So that's it. That's my update from the operations room. I'm going to try and do these on a monthly basis if I can. Just to sort of summarise what I've been doing, what I'm planning on doing, and so on, and so you can hold me to account every month if I haven't painted the models I said I'm going to paint. You know, I've got it there. I've told you it on the video, and you can hold me to account in the comments. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this first update from the operations room. And of course, if you did enjoy the video, please like, subscribe and share, and click the bell notification icon if you want to keep up to date with my videos as I put them out. So until next time, look after yourself, get in as much gaming as you can, and of course, keep rolling high.